so I don't have the temptation to take off before my target level. And at the end of the day, my reasoning is like, I'm confident in this trade. My setup is showing a formation that shows me that it's probably going to hit this level. And if it hits my stop loss before it hits my take profit level, the trade didn't work. And I was wrong. I've learned to just accept that and sort of not look at the numbers, not look at the dollar P&L, and just say, okay, I'm going for this amount of points, I'm risking this amount of points, end of story,
Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's no rules that say, like, if it touches my entry once or twice, I'm going to break even. If I'm up 20, 30 points, I'm going to break even. Time stops, none of that.
Yeah, no, I used to do that, and it would just mess with my head.
Not profitable. Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like on my previous when I was on a live account before. I ended up taking a full payout, but when I was on live, I was taking trades with like 8 micros, I think, and I realized that I would have a stop loss, I would have a take profit, and a lot of the times I would just I'd be like like $300 in profit, and I would just be like whatever, I'm happy with this. I would just close the trade, and like 9 times out of 10 it would just run to my full TP where I would have made $500-600 more, and I just end up getting mad. I get pissed at myself, and it's like I just I was kind of tired of letting myself managing the trade mess with my emotions. So I sort of just put it on now. Whatever happens, happens. Maybe some people might think that's like poor risk management, but that's just what works best for me.
Wow, JD,
how much time did you spend in the XFAs before you got called up to live? Do you remember? What was the journey like?
Yeah, so it was a 100K account I had. My total P&L on it was, I think, around $16,000 over a month. I took 5 payouts. I took every payout I was able to. So when I got moved to live, I think I had like $2,000 in the account. And yeah, it wasn't like, it wasn't like a good amount to take big trades with. So what I ended up doing was I was at 28 green days or something. So I just locked up 2 more, and I took a full payout and used that money to start some new accounts.
There you go.
Nice.
That's a great way to work it.
That's a good question.
Yeah, thanks.
Do you find there to be like a differences emotionally between trading combine, XFA, live account? Do you treat them the same, differently?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm definitely more confident on the combines. I'll tell you that. When when I see when I see a trade I'm like iffy on taking, like most of the time on a combine I'll take it. But when I'm on Express, it's like I sort of tell myself like I need a perfect setup. And sometimes that's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes I'll miss out on trades because I'm a little scared. Literally just happened on this huge candle. I had a sell order at 19,574. I was gonna put my stop loss at 19,600, and it would have worked out perfectly. It would have caught like 150 points or something. But I see that huge 100-point candle, and I'm like, okay, no, I'm not just gonna get instantly stopped out for no reason and take another.
How do you set take profits? Is it just relative to risk, or is it based off of levels? Like, how do you do it? How are you doing it?
Yeah, I pretty much, when the trading day starts, I like to reset my chart. I go to the 4-hour chart. I'll set my levels.
Order filled.
15-minute. I'll just pretty much go down from the highest to the lowest time frame. Find sort of the areas of liquidity, and I'll mark them out with these lines. And that's generally where I'll put my take profits. And I also like to do it in like relative to risk. If I'm setting multiple take profits, I don't always do that, but if I'm taking like
order filled,
I'll definitely set multiple take profits, and usually I would just set them at 1-1, 1-2, 1-3.
Okay.
Order filled.
A mix of ratio and levels then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Because Because theoretically, you could be like, hey, I'm never going to move my stop, but my take profit's also going to be like 3,000 ticks away. And it's like, okay, well, that's not super realistic, right? So, like, what's the middle ground of that? And like, even like having levels too could be a little bit hairy, because what if you get within like 10% of the level and it doesn't get filled? Yeah, like, what happens there? Like psychologically for you, if you see it get really close, do you just not see it because you're not there in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it sucks, seeing price be like one tick away from, my order. But, at the end of the day, it's like, it's the same thing the other way around. Think about it. When I set a stop loss, I'm not going to move the stop loss. I'm not going to cut my trade early because I'm like 2 ticks from stop loss. So I think to myself, why would I do that with my profits?
Hey, I love it, man. Consistency all the way. All the way. Hey, nice bounce here on the Nasdaq. Up about 60 points and counting.
Order
Really
filled.
Stair-step formations in the Nasdaq today. Really, really big.
Yeah, I was looking for longs once we swept these lows, but I was going to wait for my level to get hit. It looks like.
Yeah, we're also blowing up with questions, which does not help. Speaking of that, I can give you like a 2-minute break here. Gabe, if we have jab, 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 I can read through those real quick. Oh, hey, there we go. Cool. All right, this is jab, jab, jab. Segi up 3K on silver. Took profit off one contract, leaving the last one to run. Congratulations, Segi. Ursa plus 600 and locked out. Jab, jab, jab. Well done. Devon Scott. Yo, I just got out of my longs on that. I rode up for the market. Up 56.82 profit in the XFA. Well done. Got through that one. Okay. NFL fantasy football news and tips. Was 35 away from daily loss limit. Now up 35 on the day. Hashtag jab, jab, jab at Eddie Horn. Also reduced personal daily loss limit for today to half normal loss limit. Well done. CA 150K combine passed. Hoping I can continue trading like this in the XFA. I hope so too. Just stick to your process, man. And Westy just passed another combine. Thanks, Coach J. And Westy, thank you for the segue. Coach J will be up next on Power Hour with myself and Jack. So stick around. He's coming back again. And that is your jab, jab, jab. Thank you so much, Gabe. Cool. Back to the charts. Yeah, Ron, we'll have to get you back on where we can like really settle in and take some trades. Not all the niceties are out of the way. We can really get into these markets, get you into maybe like an 11 a.m. or 2 p.m. segment when the markets are really, really moving. Of course, if you want to come back. If you don't want to come back, it's totally fine.
No, yeah, of course. You guys are cool.
Okay.
I like this.
Yeah. Hell
yeah. Yeah, the first
order filled.
Your first visit on TopStep TV is always get to know you. We'll chit chat. We'll go over your charts, see what you're looking at, kind of thing. And then your next visit, we're really gonna get into the weeds. We're gonna put some trades on and
we'll take a little fun for sure.
Yeah, I was super nervous coming in. I've never talked in front of this many people, so it was really weird. I had butterflies in my stomach, but you guys are really welcome. So
just imagine you're in like an auditorium and 28 people are watching you on stage right now. It's not that bad. It's totally fine. Do you have to give up and like do presentations? Is that like your least favorite thing to do? Is do a presentation?
Well, like in class?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends how big the class is. If it's like a huge lecture, like I get a little scared. My voice gets shaky and stuff, but it's whatever.
Just crush a PowerPoint in front of 2,000 people.
Order filled.
Dude, yeah, it's obviously good because I can't see everyone, so it's not as bad. But
okay, I have a question from James Harden. He's one of our producers. He says, "Ask him what his favorite Radiohead song is. What is your favorite Radiohead?"
Oh, I saw the poster.
I saw the poster.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one, man. I'd have to say High and Dry for sure. Some people might say it's generic, but I've always loved this.
Wait, is Radiohead to you then considered classic rock? Is it like all relative?
Ooh, interesting question. Careful with your answer.
I mean, a lot of people refer to it
order
as
filled.
Alternative rock, kind of. I don't really know what to call it, but I like their music, so it's
awesome. You got a guitar behind you as well. I'm assuming you're playing that.
Yeah, some here and
yeah.
there. You know.
When's your next show?
Come down to Rutgers. I'll be playing live
Really?
in my room.
Ah.
You guys are welcome. My 10 square foot bedroom.
Yeah, it's not going to be weird at all having a bunch of 40-year-old men show up to your apartment ready to rock out to Radiohead. But we will bring the beer, though. We will bring the beer. And maybe some Dorito liqueur as well that we have in Chicago. Do not recommend.
Is that still in the office?
It is still in the office. It is the most expensive piece of shit I've ever had to drink in my entire life. It was like $60 for a 750 milliliter bottle. No, not even. I think it was half.
Dorito,
so bad.
Dorito flavored liqueur, folks. Nacho cheese booze.
It would maybe make a decent Bloody Mary, but that's a stretch. For the price, absolutely not. Anyways, Ron, was that not the fastest 45 minutes of your life? Segment is already over, sir.
Awesome. I had a great time.
Just like that. You absolutely crushed it. JD, you also crushed it, per usual.
You said awesome. Well. You said awesome, like get me the hell out of here.
I don't know what the sound of my voice sounds like anymore. I have no idea.
Ron, you did a great job. You did a great job, Ron. We're going to have you back on real soon. Nice job, bud.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I had a great time.
Oh, right. Wait. Ron, any shout outs? Anyone out there watching that you want to shout out, especially your teacher?
Oh.
Order filled.
I have a few, I think. I like to shout out my parents for funding, part of my trading journey. They've helped me out over the years, and I'm always going to be grateful for them. Also my sister, she's
order filled,
graduating from MIT. She just did a TED talk. Yeah, I'll always look up to her. She's an idol.
Is she a trader?
No. she just started
order filled
some internship money, and she threw it into Robinhood random stocks. She was asking me for advice. I was like, I don't know that much more than you, so yeah. I was like, just put in some ETFs and you'll be fine.
That's awesome. Wait, so was it a TEDx talk or like a legit TED talk?
I think it was TEDx. It was I don't know what it was, but it was
order filled.
What was the subject? You remember?
It was about how healthcare neglects women, and she stated this one specific drug where they would put the same amount of dosage in the men's drug and the women's drug, and a lot of females were having health issues.
Oh wow!
And some other stuff that I'm not smart enough to understand. So
yeah, well, I heard sinusoidal on TopStep TV once, and I thought my head was going to explode. Shout out to Amanda. All right, Ron, we're all set. Shout outs were awesome. JD, you're awesome. Power Hour is up next. We had to do a little bit of a change here, so it's going to be Dakota, Jay, myself, and Jack. Power Hour is coming up. Let's go.
Hit that VIP form one more time. It's coming down in 60 seconds.
Yeah. Ooh, 1 minute for VIP. Form 7, pinned to the top of the chat. Grab it right now, folks. Get it now. See you later.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.